Today we're watching a new video about Dan Bilzerian. Lauren, do you know who Dan Bilzerian is?
I know of him and a little bit about him, but not much. I just know he's one of these like guys with big guns and like a lot of women around him, and he's a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, but I actually have
And do you think he's cool?
I mean, he's not my cup of tea, but like he's.
When I was younger, I thought he was very cool. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why how long has he been big for?
He's been big like since Instagram was big. He's like basically the king of Instagram.
Okay, but like.
He's like the man, Dan Bilzerian.
Because what? He has guns.
He has guns. He has women. He has a big house. He hangs out with celebrities. Yeah, he's cool.
I mean, I get why people would like it. Like, it's all like, wow, this is what I want to be. But, like,
All right.
at the end of the day, he's still just a human being.
But now watch this video and get to know Dan Bilzerian
Okay.
much
okay.
more, okay?
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see what... already is saying, caution, this video contains flashing images. I'm assuming boobs everywhere. Themes of violence and drugs. Oh!
Please welcome Instagram's most loved and hated man, Dan
see,
Bilzerian.
The king of Instagram, as his PR firm forces every article to call him.
The king alpha male.
The king alpha male.
Danny B. Dan Bilzerian.
The alpha male!
Did you just see he was just
She
sitting?
was sitting on a tank, yeah.
Yeah, like as if he has this big long penis or something.
Not everybody can do it.
She's around me all the time. I'd be jet skiing. I'd be driving around in Ferraris and private jets. You're living like a life that doesn't even seem real.
Where did Dan get his money from?
Your father was a corporate takeover specialist. He went to jail,
They're getting straight up sued by their former president.
This just looks fake.
allegedly kicking a woman in the face at a nightclub. Did you do that?
Well...
Oh my god. Did he actually just fire a woman off a building into a pool?
Yeah, no, but he kicked a woman in the face in front of the club.
Why?
He
Because
thought
he thinks he can.
he can, yeah, he can.
No, he can't. No, he can't. Oh my god, what a dude. Created by... Wow. But like, can I
Allow
ask,
me to set.
what's the story? Who's paying? Like, is this his documentary? Like, is somebody?
No,
is he
no,
paying somebody to do this?
somebody uncovered this, so you will now find out the...
So this is all the nitty gritty.
No,
The scene.
Okay.
The date is February 24th,
we're
2021. A young Instagram influencer is scaling a $63 million Bel Air mansion in hopes of finding its elusive owner, the man with the perfect geometrical beard, Dan Bilzerian.
I think we're good. Come on. Dan, are you in there?
But what's the deal with this guy?
Okay,
who
hold
who
on.
even is he?
For starters, isn't it kind of funny that the girl that goes in is also wearing short pants and like trying to do the whole sexy woman thing?
Lauren, be patient.
On the surface, he looks like a bodybuilder compensating for being 5'9". A fusion of Tony Stark and Hugh Hefner. A professional poker player with lavish taste and a massive online following of over 30 million insecure teenage boys. If a lifestyle of touring the world, sleeping with models, shooting machine guns in the desert, parading
Oh my
around
God.
exotic animals,
Yeah,
sitting down with meatheads, posing with enormous stacks of cash, partying with major celebrities, and ruining a perfectly good car with a military-grade tank seems too good to be true, that's because it is. Dan is a fraud.
Dan Bilzerian?
He doesn't live here anymore.
He was actually exiled from his California dream home just last year, quietly abandoning a key part of his brand that made him the Giga Alpha Chad his fans once
look at that.
considered
It's
him
like
to be.
Oh, that's like a version of him in Hulk. Jesus.
Can you write any of this off? Because it's really promoting your brand and your lifestyle.
I mean, I have to talk to my accountant about all of it. I don't know.
But how exactly did we get here? What happened to Dan the Man Bilzerian? Well, that's what I want to find
Yeah,
out.
he has a
But
weed
first,
company.
we're gonna need to go back to where it all began.
Yeah, I want to know how he started. What was he before he was
The biography of an alpha big dick savage.
Daniel Brandon Bilzerian was born on December 7th, 1980 in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
Coming from humble beginnings, his mother was nothing more than a social worker, with his father being but a simple businessman.
Whoa. Nothing more than a social worker. How dare
Do you
they?
feel intimidated because you are a social worker?
No, like social workers are good people. What do you mean nothing more than a social
Yeah, money-wise. Not like people-wise, money-wise.
Oh, this is so annoying.
What kind of businessman, you ask? You know,
Two
just the
phones. I
kind
got
that
2 phones.
manipulates the stock market for a living.
Really successful businessman. And then the newspaper headlines are, and I think this is like the late 80s, he's indicted for like tax and securities fraud.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was actually just kidding about that humble beginnings thing. Hard to grow up in a house like this and still pretend you're self-made, but Dan found a way.
So how did you make your money then?
Playing poker.
You made it all playing poker.
Poker.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the dude that's over the UFC he's talking to.
Mm-hmm.
He made his money playing poker.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
so he's a big gambler.
impressive.
Ow, that is insane.
The point is, Paul Bilzerian had become one of the richest corporate raiders in the
But that's
entire
his father.
region by the time Dan was just 6 years old, setting up multiple trust funds for his 2 sons before being locked away for fraud in the early 90s.
He was then ordered to pay $60 million back to the government.
You know what they say, like, it's in the blood. It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
The genes. It's the genes.
And after he paid back $3 million, he was like, uh-oh, I'm out of money. Anyway, on a completely unrelated note, his son Dan Bilzerian mysteriously won $50 million in 1 year playing poker, which is more than any professional poker player has made in their entire lifetime.
But trust me, we'll get back to Dan's father in a little bit. For now, I want to focus on the man, the myth, the king of Instagram. No, I'm not talking about myself, even though Dan and I do have similar followings,
Wow.
with over 10,000 one-night stands under his belt. Wait, did I read that right? 10,000? 10,000 one-night stands.
He must be covered in, like, chlamydia and fucking...
Do you think?
Maybe. If he's good, if they say
Say for
10,000
sex, come on, like.
10,000 women. Come on, what are the chances you're going to be lucky with 10,000 women that you don't catch something?
I don't know.
But he's the king of Instagram, so he probably is the shield over his penis.
Always wear condoms, right?
He's a shield over his penis.
In one house?
17 chicks. And I remember I had sex 9 times in one day. I was like so proud of myself.
Well, I mean, it's good Dan.
What?
You said this on an interview.
Oh my god. But so he loves himself.
Yes, obviously.
Lie to us, though. I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to take his word for it.
He objectifies women on a mainstream platform, normalizing women as background rather than as actual human beings.
Yeah.
In other words,
I think.
you make women, according to them, props.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I said the same thing about Hugh Hefner, right?
He wants to be Hugh Hefner.
He kind of wants to be him, but he wants to be a version of him that's like strong and masculine and like not an ugly old man.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Is that supposed to be a good thing? I mean, they said the same thing about Hugh Hefner. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know. I just take pictures and the women are there, so I don't know. I mean, it's all up to interpretation. I mean, people can.
What is your interpretation?
Yes.
That, you know, I have a bunch of women hanging around.
But make no mistake, he wasn't always the zenith of peak male vitality, though. In fact, he actually dropped out of 4 separate high schools over the span of 3 years, even being arrested for bringing a machine gun on campus his senior year.
So explain what led to you getting thrown in jail your senior year.
A machine gun and a shotgun in my vehicle on school grounds would be probably what led to that. And this was right after Columbine happened, which is kind of bad timing, if you will.
Galaxy brain stuff here from our boy Dan.
He's Dan the
After
man.
pulling a Vince Staples, he
Doesn't have
decided
a
to...
brain. Like, honestly, what?
Yeah, I mean, he has brain enough to own
Yeah,
this
but
all the money.
this is what's really funny is he's kind of half him feels like he's a bit like doesn't give a shit about women. He brings stupid shit to school. Like he does really stupid shit, and then yet the stupid shit is he's still making a shitload of money. But is he happy? That's what I want
Is
to
he
know.
happy?
Dan, are you happy?
abandon school altogether and enlist in the Navy right after graduating. I think he graduated. I'm not actually sure. All I know is that he said to have spent about 4 years in the Navy, apparently going through 510 grueling days of SEAL training with 2 broken legs?
You know, I had done everything that I was supposed to do. I made it through Hell Week with broken legs. Like,
No, you did not.
And I went into medical and I asked them to look at my legs. I ran for like 2 miles and just destroyed them even more just because I was just so sick of the military. I just wanted to get out. And they gave me what I wanted. They're going to get me out.
Think under the UCMJ, that's actually a crime. He's not running for 2 miles with broken legs if he's truly hurt. It just seems like this is made for social media.
Dan's strained relationship with the U.S. military
But
becomes
look, that's
a
him.
little
Yeah, he
dicey,
looks
so
a bit
stick
different.
with me
He's not
here.
as
The
puffy
first
in the
step in
face.
becoming a Navy SEAL is completing basic underwater demolition training, known as BUDS for short. Meant to test physical and mental stamina, the 24-week program is described as demanding and intense. Most trainees don't even make it past this one phase, but Dan has insisted he spent over a year and a half on BUDS alone. Yeah, the same guy who struggles to land a jet ski in the water.
That's his jet ski.
Go away. This goes on for a whole minute. Okay, so he's stuck in the water trying to pull a jet ski.
But come on, a jet ski is quite heavy.
Claims his extended training and frequent rollbacks had to do with his 2 stress fractures.
I had broken legs for like a year and a half or a year and 7 months. It was insane. It was basically like, they're like, okay, well, this guy's legs are just never gonna fucking heal.
So why wasn't it healing? I'm still confused.
Well, because I went through SEAL training, that kind of fucked him
Just
up
fucked him up
a
further.
little bit.
Dan never officially.
Come on.
He just said broken
If
legs.
he had 2 broken legs and he's gone through all this 2-mile running and training, but yet now he's able to do squat like whatever kgs.
He's just tough,
He
like.
must think we're all stupid.
Became a SEAL, instead being kicked out just 2 days before passing to the next phase on account of a safety violation at the gun range, or in his words, no real good reason. Yeah, I'm sure there was no real good reason.
I'm gonna give you guys some perspective. For somebody to be rolled back from training 2 days prior to graduation, there has to be something pretty significant. They call Navy SEALs often the $1 million man, and that's because how much it costs to train these guys and how much time goes into that. So he doesn't dive into that, but I will say that does bring some red flags or questions. You have to have done something really bad or be very highly disliked, I would say.
Rumors of Dan falling asleep during training and getting into arguments with officers have since circulated online. And although I have no real way to verify any of these testimonies, just the thought of Dan's former class making up songs to mock him after he got dropped is really beautiful to me.
And this instructor that didn't like me, he couldn't even find excuses the 3rd time. He just admin dropped me. I didn't even know that was like a thing. I didn't even know you could get admin drop, but yeah.
Hey, a broken leg and an honorable discharge still gave our man in the ledge $6,000 disability allowance, so...
You know, I was getting the GI Bill, and the VA was paying me, and I was getting grants and everything for school, and so I was making pretty good money for a college student.
Despite, yes, completing about 99% of the military's toughest training, his love-hate relationship with the Navy extends even further into his later years, when he paid his way into a military film in 2013, pumping $1 million into production in exchange for 8 minutes of screen time they ended up cutting down to 60 seconds. Even trying to sue the production company afterwards? Yeah, actor.
What's going on? Nothing, bro. I'm about to get out of here with my girl.
Whatever. Before any of that, Dan was officially discharged. In desperate need of a purpose and a place to go, he did what any affluent dickhead would do and became a businessman, using his disability money towards enrolling at the University of Florida, joining a frat, and of course, falling in love with the game of poker.
He must be shit. He must be good.
Yeah.
Dan was only a freshman in college when he embarked on his first ever poker match, taking a liking to the game almost immediately. Staying up late and losing a ton of sleep was worth it if it meant getting to play an extra game with his classmates in between important business readings. By his sophomore year, Dan was addicted, even reportedly taking out a loan on his car and selling 3 of his most expensive guns so he had more money to gamble with.
So I went like flat broke my sophomore year, and I actually had to like sell 3 of my guns. And then I took that money and went and like played on this gambling boat. Take a boat to the boat because it had to be in international waters.
Being coached by his younger brother Adam, a real professional poker player, it wasn't until his 25th birthday when he actually set foot in a real brick-and-mortar casino, ready to prove his skills in the treacherous world of gamblers, sharks, and...
What age does he look for you?
He actually looks late 30s, but I'm kind of thinking if he's 25 and it's his first time in the... I don't know, he looks like 30.
Billionaires.
What's this?
Oh god, this 3-bet size on the flop. Dan's doing the money we did to this Ford Explorer a year ago.
Look, let's get one thing straight. I'm an idiot, okay? I'm not gonna pretend I know the first thing when it comes to poker. I'm really not good at any game not called Mario Kart or Super Monkey Ball, for that matter. But I have read the comments under gambling videos of Dan, and I know his skills have been repeatedly brought into question by real experts of the game. And I think it's safe to say he isn't exactly the most well-respected in the community. Even Dan himself will tell you it was never his life goal to become the greatest poker star of all time or anything. He just wanted to be the rich asshole in the background, having his beard stroked by models. So that much is totally understandable. But it becomes a little more disingenuous when you start to attribute your enormously unfathomable wealth to your non-existent poker skills. I mean, even the most professional, well-known players in the world can barely scratch Dan's estimated net worth of $200 million.
I moved to LA. And I started playing a lot of these poker games, and it just, I don't know, kind of snowballed. Like I beat one guy for 54 million, and
54 million.
Yeah. So
poker players make a lot of money, but not enough to justify the incredible spending habits of Danny Boy here. We're talking $50,000 for a bed frame, okay? He would need to be one of the absolute greatest to ever live, and we all know that just isn't true.
God.
All in all, while Dan...
So the king of Instagram is pulling chicks all around, but do you got a wild goat in your bed? A wild goat. What's he, fucking taking milk in the morning from her? Ugh.
Did play very aggressive. I wouldn't say that he played all that great. In fact, there was some serious button clicking going on in this match. I think that maybe he could beat some high-stakes, very soft live games, but on the internet, he's a fish in the water.
His lackluster abilities may have been enough to make him look cool in front of his audience of middle schoolers, but something about the way he presented himself in interviews and talked about his wealth just wasn't adding up. But his Instagram numbers definitely were.
Wow.
After breaking up with his playmate girlfriend in 2011, Dan vowed to live his life as a bachelor to the fullest extent from then on out.
Girls, look here.
Ew.
The left one, look at her lips.
So that's a Barbie doll. Then you have another one that's kind of like a...
But she
she's
likes
had everything done at her.
blonde white chicks.
I mean, there's 3 blonde and there's 3 brown.
In the middle there's like one oriental.
They're all so fake though.
But look at his beard. Cut perfectly.
Yeah.
Using the power of the internet to transform himself into a shining beacon of inspiration for sexless teenage boys in pastel shorts all over the nation. First joining the vanity-obsessed world of Instagram in 2012, the perfect platform for Dan to
Do they? I guess they do. Like obviously these
I have friends.
Yeah, but these women are like, I'm sorry, they have no morals.
Morals, so they just go with...
They just are like, he has money. He'll get me my drink. I'll just go beside him.
Yeah.
Show my tits. Yeah, come on. They want attention. They're in front of the camera going, look.
Everybody wants attention, so it's okay. Like they're just helping each other,
yeah,
right?
But there's attention in there. How far do you go to get attention? Selling your body?
I mean...
they're not even selling their body. I don't even know, is he paying them? Is he paying them?
Maybe, yeah. That's quite common.
Off his exhilarating lifestyle of posing with his brother and
How
chickens.
many of them was there?
Okay, his posts started off about as tame as you can get. A clear contrast to what they'd become over the following years. Somewhere along the way,
just because there was one cat, he likes animals.
The more attention they would get. And began posting anything so long as he got those sweet, sweet likes and follows. He quickly built up a reputation of partying, drinking, having drug-laced orgies with supermodels, and having 2 heart attacks by the age of 32.
I got no fucking idea. Doc's like, it's very important important that you're thorough and that you tell us everything. We can't give you certain things if, you know, they mix with other drugs. And I'm just like, you know, I was smoking some pot. And my mom kind of like perks up. You know, I did a little bit of cocaine. And my dad's like looks over at me. You know, and I think I might have taken a little bit of Viagra. And then my girlfriend's like, you motherfucker. And I'm just like,
my girlfriends.
And the doctor's like, it's very important that you tell us how much. I was like, yeah, I think like 200 milligrams. The doctor goes, 200 milligrams?
Yeah, I guess the cocaine and Viagra might
It's like a little switch with a guy, and it's like the little thing going up and down.
But only Dan, the man, can take so much drugs and still survive.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I guess, I mean, I'm sure he exaggerated the amount.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Fact. But at least he got to meet Michael Jackson's doctor, supposedly. Gracing headlines for some of his more outrageous stunts, including the time he was arrested for bomb-making charges. Come on, Dan. What the f***? After blowing up his own tractor trailer, he pled no contest for failing to extinguish a fire out in the open. No jail time, no weapon restrictions, nothing. Just a measly fine of about 17 grand, which he only received because it happened on public property. Not to mention the time he launched porn star...
What did you do again?
This is exactly what I meant. I saw him firing off the top of the roof. A girl.
A girl? But look, she's censored. Naked and afraid. Yeah, who wouldn't be afraid, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming she falls into a pool.
Let's see.
Janice Griffith off his rooftop.
There are some details that I don't feel comfortable talking about right now.
Has Dan called you up to apologize?
He actually did not ever make an apology, unfortunately. Which is the only thing that I'm sort of... Why? I did not ever hear sorry from him.
Are you like
panicking at last?
Okay. What he did, he shouldn't have done. 100%.
Yes.
I didn't apologize, but also like she knows stepping into that place that she's stepping into a complete douche.
Do you think she's responsible for
so now
this?
it's all of a sudden it's like, yeah, well, it's like, come on.
She said like, oh, it would be nice if he apologized, but it didn't happen, so I don't hang out with him anymore. She doesn't risk to be thrown down again.
I think women know before they go in there that he's going to treat you badly.
But how did she end up naked on the roof?
Exactly. Why? Because she's like, come on, it's two people. Like, you have to look at both people here. Standards.
And then she grabbed Dan's t-shirt in a split second of regret before barely missing the pool below and smashing her ankle on the way down. Thanks to his scumbag legal defense team, he wasn't sued. Unlike the time he kicked a woman in the face at a nightclub in steel-toed boots, in which case he was sued.
Vanessa Castano claims in a new lawsuit filed by her attorney, Keith Davidson, that Bilzerian was on the stage at the LIV nightclub and kicked her in the face with military boots. She says she began bleeding from the face and eye. Bilzerian's people say he kicked her because he was struggling to help another woman on stage, but Castano was blocking him.
And I thought chivalry was good. Turns out Dan just wanted to protect his girl while
because he was... I want to see that. What did they say? Because he was struggling to help another woman on stage.
Yes, so he was just protecting another woman.
Oh my goodness. Goodness. You looking for your jacket?
No, a bag was left here and stuff.
Underneath the... And Dan was arrested Tuesday night for his allegedly stopped...
Do you know Dan Bilzerian? Or not?
And Neil.
What?
He's asking you, do you know Dan Bilzerian?
Oh, fucking Egypt.
Exactly.
I do.
Bleeding from the face and eye, Bilzerian kicked her because he was struggling to help another woman. What an idiot.
Dan just wanted to protect his girl while brutalizing another one. Can't think of anything more considerate. Almost reminds me of the time he tried to play hero during an active shooting.
Holy fuck, this girl just got shot in the fucking head. It's so fucking crazy.
Dan Bilzerian was one of 22,000 people in attendance the night a 64-year-old man opened fire at a Las Vegas music festival in October 2017. During the worst mass shooting event in American history, Dan could be seen running amongst the crowd, documenting his live experience to his online following.
So I had to go grab a gun, I'm fucking headed back. Fucking so crazy, some kind of mass shooting, fucking guy had a heavy caliber weapon for sure. Saw a girl fucking get shot in the face right next to her, brains fucking hanging out.
Wanting to live up to the gun-toting macho man image he'd always exhibited, Dan was determined to do whatever he could to assist the situation. I guess he figured the best way to do that was by begging to borrow a random cop's gun while people around him were literally dying.
Ooh. He wanted the gun.
How is that helping?
Yeah, because he got the SEALs training. He's qualified. I don't know. Oh, he didn't know him
for saying his greatest fears that someone will break into his house and he won't know what gun to shoot them with. He kind of became known for this menacing reputation. So the reactions from what viewers saw that night were mixed. Some expected him to do more than run for shelter, while others might argue he shouldn't have distracted officers from attempting to defuse an active shooting situation. But one thing I can tell you for certain is that this wouldn't be the only time his values were questioned, and it sure wouldn't be the last time he experienced controversy.
According to all estimations, Ignite burned through over 100 million with about...
Okay.
I see women lined up. I just really going, what is going to happen?
2.5 million in gross profit in 2020. It's insane. Where did the money go? Dan, what's up? DM me. Where's the money?
At the end of the day, money's really freedom with me, because when you got a lot of money, you can do whatever you want. Nobody can tell you what to do.
But before we get into that, it's time for an ad. The wonderful and amazing saints over at Raycon. That's right, Ray J is disrupting the electronics industry by selling clean, nifty, premium, wireless audio for half the price of regular brands with no compromises. See, Raycon earbuds give you 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, and a more compact design for a comfortable and noise-isolating fit. From the way they design their products to the way they price them, Raycon prioritizes their customer experience with a 45-day money-back guarantee return policy. So if you're kind of on the fence and just want to be sure these are all that's cracked up to be, might as well click the link in the description and try them out, right? Right? It helps the channel. Lately, I've been using mine while riding my bike and listening to Dan Bilzerian talk about all the women he slept with. Oh, what a guy. Go to buyraycon.com/Jobbery to get 15% off your order today. Massive thanks to Raycon for helping out once again.
Wow. Okay, so this is his company, Raycon, as well.
For the longest time, Dan insisted the bulk of his income was a direct result of his poker earnings, turning himself from a broke college kid to a self-made millionaire through his late 20s. But not everyone was convinced. For starters, Dan had only played in one public poker tournament, all the way back in 2009 when he came in 180th place and walked away with $36,000.
The Bilzerian brothers have been enjoying their family reunion as well, both still in this thing. That's Adam adding to his chip stack. But at another table, his brother Dan is all in after the flop with ace high against the pocket tens of Jonathan Tamayo.
Dan Bilzerian has to have an ace on the river.
The river card is a king. Tamayo wins the pot and knocks off Dan Bilzerian.
He became known for playing loose, aggressive in the eyes of fellow poker sharks, even reportedly losing $2.3 million on a simple coin toss, according to GQ. Still, Dan claims to have made the majority of...
When you look at him there, you see a different person, like a different man. But now when you look at him, it's just like, it's mad how much like just changing your body image or your like facial hair, it's all of a sudden.
You mean the beard makes him more masculine?
Yeah, and also better looking because it gives him more of a kind of defined face, I think.
Alright. Money through non-traceable cash games with billionaires in private, which is extremely convenient, wouldn't you say? Especially considering his Instagram flexing began around the same time as...
He's wearing a fish hat.
A fish hat, yes, yeah. I mean, that's cool. It's American. Look, there he is.
Ah, okay.
And the one woman is sitting on the face of
who?
Of his friend.
Those trust funds finally became accessible.
The trust funds, I guess you were entitled to one when you turned 30, one when you turned 35.
Dan's father, Paul Bilzerian, made a name for himself back in the 80s, when corporate rating was at an all-time high. According to Investopedia, investors would target failing companies whose assets appeared to be undervalued, buy large enough shares to give them a controlling position at the company, and then use their power to artificially drive up the stock price, either through internal management changes or by using their voting power to install hand-picked members to the board of directors. As long as the company's value went up, the investors would make an absolute killing. A practice that was questionable at best and straight up illegal at worst, depending on how you went about it, I guess. By 1989, though, the government had charged Paul with fraud and conspiracy, failing to disclose his ownership of various companies and selling his holdings right after their stock prices skyrocketed. Insider trading in its purest form. And if only Paul had been a little more discreet, he probably would have been able to get away with it. Well, he still kinda did, but not without being slapped with a $63 million fine and spending 13 months in federal prison for a ruling he called unjust.
The whole time he'd been telling me like, I'm not going to jail because it was, in the newspapers the kids were asking me, so I'd ask him and he's like, oh no, definitely not. He was always like this crazy, like eternal optimist.
Dan barely got to see his father growing up as it was, naming that lack of attention as one of the many driving forces behind his eccentric lifestyle. But Paul's arrest would prove itself traumatizing for Dan, constantly harassed by kids at school over his father being a Wall Street felon.
So we're going into school and he's like, yeah, by the way, I'm going to jail. And I think he put it a little bit more eloquently than that. But anyways, it was...
How'd you take it?
It sucked, man. You got to go to school and all these kids are making fun of you and your dad's going to jail. It's like...
Wow, it sucks.
Like it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't such a guy in your face as he should. That's only happened really in the last, 15, 20 years?
You think that made him also...
Definitely.
How he is now?
Yeah.
But he profited big times.
Yeah, he did.
Kind of traumatizing moment.
Through a complex network of offshore banks and family partnerships, however, the Bilzerian family managed to keep living in the 28,000 square foot palace for about 20 years. Plenty of time for Dan and his brother Adam to grow up in the mansion Paul dubbed his own Taj Mahal, even while the SEC scrambled to locate the tens of millions he owed the government, only paying back an estimated $4 of the $63 million before filing bankruptcy? Come on, dude, you were not bankrupt.
In 1997, with the SEC still chasing Mr. Bilzarian's assets, ownership of the mansion is transferred to a Nevada partnership owned by an offshore trust that initially has, according to court records, Mr. Bilzarian and his wife as beneficiaries and trustees. His family continues living there, even as Mr. Bilzarian, in a court filing, has said he has no assets.
Going to extreme lengths
to make this up, honestly.
It's about being creative.
Absolutely.
Keep ownership of the house and his wealth, to the point where he'd rather go to prison than ever admit he was lying about his finances. To this day, that $50+ million has never been tracked down, but it all had to go somewhere, right?
You read the detractors or comments they've made that nobody can make $100 million or whatever it is playing poker. He's just poker is kind of
he sucks,
the way he says he makes his money, but he's really gotten it from the trust funds, and you didn't take it.
I gave it all back. So
really,
yeah, I gave it to my brother.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't need it, didn't want it, didn't care.
Dan has never denied the existence of a trust fund under his or his brother's name, but he has given conflicting testimonies regarding the amount of money he's actually taken from them. So first he didn't accept any of it and instead handed everything over to his little brother because, as we all know, Dan hates money that isn't his. But we'll get to that soon. Point is, he later went back on his word, admitting he did take a little bit from the trust. How much? I have no idea. As of now, there isn't definitive proof that Dan and his brother's trust funds were made up of entirely SEC money, but the evidence doesn't exactly say otherwise, does it? At the end of the day, it'll probably always remain a mystery just how much Dan really inherited from his Wall Street criminal father.
So it's been so long that I'm just used to, I never cared if people thought that I was good. I never gave a how people thought that I got my money. I still don't. I don't give a they think I, got it all from a trust. I don't care.
Not at all. Somebody, if you've earned it through, your own intellect and hard work, it doesn't bother you at all that there's some out there that think that it was just handed to you?
No, I don't really, the thing is there's so many people praising me. I don't even concern myself with the opinions. I mean, it sucks that I've lost all of my privacy pretty much and I can't go anywhere without, people coming up to me and, wanting pictures and this and that.
By 2017, he had partied with Steve Aoki, bought his way into a Matt Damon movie, and hooked up with...
I don't see him there. Where is he there?
Matt Damon.
Okay.
Look at this picture. It's just, is he having breakfast or lunch?
Dinner.
And what are the girls doing around him?
1,000 women. What could possibly be in store next for the man who had done it all? Well, launching his own CBD business, of course.
So what is the most exciting thing about the cannabis industry today? Why should people be excited about your product?
Because it's going to be one of the best products in the industry, and it's going to be consistent across state lines. We're going to have global distribution.
I imagine all the strains are just infused with Dan Bilzerian's pubic hair, and then they just somehow create an STD that he's had from a model or some shit.
I said this.
What?
So maybe they
They said he must how is he escaping STDs? If he's with all these women.
No, he can control his instincts. Don't you think?
What planet are you living on, love?
Made after the model and then the STD.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
In hopes of becoming the first premium global cannabis brand, Dan Bilzerian launched the company Ignite, selling everything from cannabis products to clothing, vapes, and beverages. This fucking guy was plastering his stupid goat logo on anything he could get his greasy fingers on. $39.99 for placebo gummies? Look, if this were the Lorax, I'm sure Dan would find a way to slap the Ignite logo on a bottle of air too. But by February 2019, Ignite was off to the races, with the brand finally going public on the Canadian stock market, debuting at a share price of about $2.51. All the meanwhile, the Ignite House YouTube channel, hosted by models Desi and Kayla, began pumping out lifestyle vlog-type content that showcased even more details of Dan's highly luxurious daily routine.
You want to run naked at Elon's house?
Yep.
No. She's like, it's fun. No.
You're right.
Everybody wanted to do it? I'll give somebody.
I think Dan should run naked.
All right. That's an offer. If any of y'all do it, I'll give you $50,000.
I'll do it.
Okay. Somebody get her a fucking bicycle.
I mean, what? I mean, what?
She's gonna knock on his door. If he answers the door, $50,000.
If he answers the door.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't? No deal?
$10,000 just for going.
Who answers the door?
My Instagram is redheadray, RAYE. So, there you go, guys. You can stop asking now.
She loves dick pics. Slide in the DMs.
Yeah, nothing weird or toxic to see here, folks.
He's running away.
And he's just working out with all the machines.
She's gonna be back. She's off camera. She's gonna contemplate things. There'll be many Uber drivers checking her out as they drive by there.
Along with the new brand, Dana also boasted his massive purchase of a $63 million mansion on CNBC with the guy from Shark Tank, completely decked out with a 12-foot waterfall, infinity pool, tennis courts, and a parking lot fit for a fucking airplane. Not a bad start, especially considering Dan's rampant social media presence reaching an estimated 500 million people every month. The company should have no problem getting off the ground and selling CBD oil to the masses, right? Right? Well, maybe Dan should have stayed in business school.
The mansions, the yachts, the parties, the models. How does Dan Bilzerian, the globe-trotting, cash-stacking, gun-toting, Instagram-boasting, partying playboy do it? According to a lawsuit filed this week, he doesn't. Dan Bilzerian rents his house and charges the rest of his six-figure lifestyle to a credit card that someone else pays off.
See, in 2019, Ignite made money two ways, and no, neither of those were actually selling products. Ignite issued and sold shares of its own company's stock, along with raising money via debt, according to Forbes.
For this video? No, somebody else made up this video.
Receiving about $25 million from proceeds of insurance sales, $19 million from convertible debt, and another $23.7 million from a short-term promissory note, which basically meant Ignite was holding on to a bunch of other people's money. Instead of actually using it to benefit the company or their constituents or whatever, it was all wasted by Dan himself. As a 2020 lawsuit would later reveal, Ignite was essentially being used as nothing more than Dan Bilzerian's own personal piggy bank. That's right, as Ignite's stock value plummeted, Dan continued to swipe the credit card. $15,000 for a ping pong table, $40,000 for a rock climbing wall, $128,000 for a 2-night stay in London, $130,000 for a photo shoot in the Bahamas, but only because he had to pay all those models.
These girls are on payroll. Wake up, buddy. Nobody fucking flies on a jet and goes to hang out with this dude. No, that's not how it works.
I kind of like figured out that life.
Look how aggressive he is. Like
he hates him. But what I mean, come on, he's a kind of one of those nerdy guys. He probably partly want to be like him. I don't know, maybe.
Setup. You know, I wanted to like set it up so that I could get laid without like having a bunch of conversations and dates and whatnot, so...
Using company money to cover enormous personal expenses would inevitably land Dan and his business in massive legal trouble thanks to a lawsuit filed by Ignite's former president, Curtis Heffernan. After refusing to approve of his boss's negligent spending, like, you know, an $800,000 yacht rental, Curtis was quickly axed from the company, to which he responded by suing Dan for wrongful termination immediately after. I mean, the guy was just trying to do his fucking job.
I wonder how much he got.
Who?
The guy that said no to him because he did a lawsuit against him.
Yeah, that's in America you get quite a lot. I don't know.
Yeah,
but look, poor Dan was just making his job. Like, don't you think? Weird.
Outlined in that very lawsuit began to reveal much of what many seem to already speculate regarding Dan's seemingly extravagant appearance. The famous Ignite parties hosted at Dan's mansion were some of the most exclusive and exotic events in the area. They were synonymous with Dan's image, but that's because it was all he seemed to care about. Vanity. He wanted to be seen as the guy, the rich asshole who could pull women effortlessly thanks to his iconic branding. But that's all it was, branding. Ignite as a company was hollow beyond any of the glitz and glamour seen on Instagram. As noted by Forbes contributor and local CBD expert Chris Roberts, I cover weed and CBD for a living. I live in an area absolutely saturated with CBD products, and I do not think I have ever seen an Ignite product out in the wild. Nobody was buying Ignite. As public records show, the company lost a grand total of $50 million its first year, with the stock value shrinking to about 68 cents at the time of me recording this. And as the lawsuit revealed, Dan didn't even own the Ignite house. Instead, he was only leasing it for about $200,000 a month and sticking somebody else with the tab. It's actually really funny that CNBC had to go back and change the title of their tour once the truth came out.
He reportedly paid a mind-boggling $65 million for this mega mansion. Dan says he made $50 million playing high-stakes poker.
I have to talk to my accountant about all of it. I don't know.
Of course, Dan denies everything the whistleblowers have alleged and plans on countersuing his former president, but that hasn't stopped anonymous employees from coming out of the woodwork and confirming Heffernan's very claims. Ignite pays for everything, one said. Models, events, yachts, Dan would just have it wrapped with the Ignite logo, and all of a sudden it was an Ignite expense, and he would send them the bill. Yeah, I mean, one look at his Instagram and that seems to check out. Some claims even seem to show his dad was running the show behind the scenes, which is illegal since he can't touch another American company after being convicted of fraud. Oh, that's why it's listed on the Canadian market.
He is, I think he's a St. Kitts citizen, and I think he gave up his U.S. citizenship.
You don't talk to him?
I talk to him probably 4 or 5 times a year.
4 or 5 times a year.
You really don't get rewarded for your honesty.
In many ways, Dan Bilzerian can be seen as the real-life Tony Stark. That is, if Tony Stark was surrounded by a rotating cast of nameless models he paid for, lied about where his money came from, distracted an officer during an active shooting, and drove Stark Enterprises into the ground. To Dan's credit, it's hard to feel any sense of real accomplishment when everything in life has been handed to you. Growing up surrounded by such tremendous wealth must have a real impact on a person's psyche, and I can only imagine how insignificant Dan must have felt having always lived in his father's shadow, constantly in search of a fragment of individuality he could claim as his own. After priding himself on being authentic and upfront about the way he lives his life, it's painfully ironic to see how everything is panned out as a result of peeling back the curtain. But it does go on to perfectly emphasize what can happen when a silver spoon chud takes over as CEO of a company while possessing no business experience or a significant level of maturity whatsoever. Dan Bilzerian will lie about anything so long as it makes his image more appealing, whether it's photoshopping celebrities on Instagram or using other people's money towards his own personal ventures. The very foundation of his credibility is built on deception. He didn't do it on his own, he just got lucky. And if you ask me, Dan is only another spoiled trust fund recipient posing as a beneficiary to the fictional American dream. A reminder to all of us that his self-made playboy lifestyle is far from the idealistic utopia he wants us to think it is, and that a pristine social media presence can conceal even the dirtiest of secrets. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree on the worst thing Dan has done.
And my first video on Dan was from 2015, and it was my first video to clock in 500,000 views. So to be completely honest with you guys, well, I gotta give Dan Bilzerian a huge thank you for helping me launch this channel.
Wow,
What was
crazy.
his first video? That went viral.
I don't know, but what do you think now? Now you saw everything about Dan Bilzerian, like he's not real.
Yeah, at the beginning I still knew he was into women. Women were all over around him. He showed off what he had with his wealth.
Yes.
His big guns. He had guns. I haven't learned any more about him.
But it was everything was quite not real, right?
Yeah,
so the story was a bit like, did he really do this? And he tried like to be this poker player and to be this SEAL guy, and he works out a lot. He has a lot of time doing it. He's motivated, but obviously his business was also not so impressive.
I mean, it's like,
then the money came from somewhere like
if you take him out of
the
his
Bahamas.
body, what has he like? Well, what it's all probably lies, built on lies. Basically, for all you young boys that are looking at this, please don't look up to him.
But his pictures are still cool.
Maybe, yeah.
He's doing
but
cool stuff.
How much is he paying for the woman beside him?
I don't know. He once he was jumping off a helicopter once.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did
with
it.
like a proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's capable. Like, listen, if he can have the size of that house and all the stuff he has, he can do anything. He literally, as he said, like with all that money, you do have a bit of freedom. Like, you can do what you want. With enough money, people are like, okay, it's a lot of money. Okay, I take it. I'll
so now we come to the final, like, learning from this video. Money doesn't make you happy. Stay real.
Be real.
Be real.
Don't treat women like shit.
Don't treat women like shit. All right, that's so much about Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, check it out. It's kind of cool. Funny.